So we are going to make a brown butter smoked paprika sauce with some sauteed cherry tomatoes, some shrimp, infuse some garlic, hit it with some fresh parsley, and toss that as a nice pasta dish. Because this is a great dish for Lent, super quick, has some delicious flavors, and I think more importantly, in the spirit of Lent, which is simplicity. And I think when people think of Lent, they think of disgusting food or processed fish sticks, or let's just get a cheese pizza from Domino's. No necessarily plug for Domino's, but who knows, you know. Good Tom Monahan. So what I'm going to do is I'm just simply going to mince the garlic up. I've got some Irish butter going to be cooking into a pan, and we're going to make sure that that gets nice and smoky. And what I've got to do is, to make this easy, is what we call mise en place, which is just getting all of the ingredients all together. And when we get to this point of this smoking point, what I've got to do now is add a little bit of this sweet paprika. And this came from the Holy Land, and the reason why I picked this is because it's got great flavor, it's going to add tremendous color, but more importantly, it gives a nice depth and a little smokiness to it, almost mimicking a tomato sauce, but there are no tomatoes in it. So you can see just how simple that looks. Now I've got the garlic. I'm just going to toss that in there, get that sauteing up. I've got just some cherry tomatoes, and these are these nice little orange kind. We can keep that whole, or I can actually cut them in half, and the easiest way for me to do that is just to glide my knife straight on through with my hand pressing down. If I had a plate or something like that, I could put it all on there, and voila, it is done. This dish can't get any simpler, and as you can see, this smoky flavor from the paprika will infuse some deliciousness into these cherry tomatoes now. Okay, and now I'm just going to hit it with some fresh parsley that I'm going to keep off to the side. I've got basically some shrimp here, medium-sized shrimp that I'm also going to toss into this little combination. I would say about 3 or 4 per person, but at the same time, you can put as much or as little as you want. Now I'm just going to take some parsley. We're going to mince this up nice and finely. Add a little bit to the combination right now while everything continues to cook all together, and then hit it at the very end as well. So a little bit of a sauteed parsley flavor and some fresh. And you can see how easy this dish is for a Lenten family celebration. It's certainly in keeping with the spirit. And more importantly, it'll bring your family together and hopefully give you a chance to celebrate. So once we've got this going, I'm going to get some of my pasta. I'm going to wait till my shrimp cook out a little bit more. I'm going to hit it with just a little bit of salt and pepper, and as well as some chili peppers, some red pepper flakes, because if you like it spicy, and actually it's kind of a nice thing to have a little bit of spice. It actually warms you up and fills you up a little quicker. Boom. Taking some of the parsley. Generally, people don't add cheese to a seafood recipe, but if you wanted to, you can hit this with a dust of Parmesan if you want. And now we add some of the pasta to it. And I've got just some regular spaghetti that I pre-cooked. And this is always a great little tip. I always let families know you can cook some spaghetti in advance, just keep it off to the side. You can use spaghetti in so many different applications. In a lasagna, in a baked kind of dish, or you could even put it in a frittata with some eggs. Or, interestingly enough, you can even add some Asian flavors to it and turn it into a lo mein. So it keeps life easy if you just kind of think ahead. And I think that if a family, for example, thinks ahead about what they're going to do for a Friday in Lent, as opposed to just making it seem like, hey, it's just oh gosh, it's a drudgery, I've got to think of something meatless to eat, then it'll give you a chance to talk about the purpose of Lent. I'm going to add just a little bit more water. But you can see it's not very saucy, but it still has a tremendous amount of flavor into it. And when we actually plate this up, we'll be able to add even more flavor. I'm going to give this a little taste test. The shrimp are already cooked. You can tell the shrimp are cooked because it turned a little opaque, and then the pink on the shell, I like to leave that. Boom. Hit it with a little bit more parsley. What I did not do is I didn't take a little taste test of it all, so I'm going to grab a little noodle just to make sure that flavors are appropriate. Nicely al dente. I'm going to hit it with a little bit more salt. And here we go. When it comes to the plating part, nice little twist. You'll see it kind of looks like there's a tomato flavor to it. And there is with the cherry tomatoes, but it's really the smoked paprika and the creaminess of the butter. And those blistered tomatoes kind of infuse themselves into this very simple sauce. And kind of voila, let me clean that plate up. Just because, Lent is all about keeping yourself clean. And the only way you can really do it is with God's grace. And I think what I try to remind people is God's grace requires some cooperation. And that cooperation means eating with Him. So here we go. Just a little sample of this pasta. Oh, that smoked paprika just comes straight out. Boy, you can almost smell it. And then some fresh parsley at the end. Clean the plate up a little bit. And voila. Simple, easy, Lent family-friendly dish that's not only delicious, it's fun, and it gets you thinking about why do we avoid fish. And I think the ultimate reason is because the word fish, literally from the Greek acronym ichthos, Jesus Christus huios theus soter, means Jesus Christ, Son of God, Savior. So when we eat fish, we remember we're the fish. We need to be saved by Him. Bon appetit.